You want to meet the players that made me say, whoa, hold up. Wait a minute. All that and more coming right up. Let's get it cracking. Yo, 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 no maniacs, super no maniacs, and all in between. Welcome to a live edition of Feed the Bears. Today I got my guy FFG with me today, man. He got a little break from the rock pile. Got a little break, man, and we got a chance to get in here and kick it. I talked to him today. He was all energetic, and he was like, "Hey, man, you want to talk about some Bears? All right, man, let's do it." But you know, this is the particular kind of show because we've reached the stage now. I'm not saying that I don't have more prospects to get to, brand new guys that nobody's heard of, but this is definitely the guys that really stuck out to me right away on tape. As soon as I turn the tape on, it's like boom, and it's like unforgettable stuff. And we got about 10 guys for you, and it's gonna be fun to talk about because FFG is familiar with them all, and we've had conversations about pretty much everybody we're gonna talk about. But it's gonna be fun, and as the No Maniacs get ready to file in here, they're not used to us being here at a 5:00 hour. And so some of them know that they hit the notifications. They know whenever we got a show going. And then other ones that don't hit the notification bell, they're going to be like, oh, no, man, you ain't telling me it's going to be a show at 5:00 today. I'm like, hey, man, got to always hit the notification bell when you subscribe to a channel. You like the content, man. You always hit that notification bell. So for that purpose, make sure you guys, whoever is watching, if you're watching and you're not subscribed and you want to come in and chat, just hit the subscribe button. You can get right in here and chat with the community. Hit the like button no matter what, and make sure you hit your notification bell and share this stuff with your people, man. But without further ado, I'm gonna pass it on to FFG, man. He's got things going on in his life. If you want to share, go ahead.
What up, No Maniacs? Your boy been busy lately, selling to a new position at work. Immortal, thank you for being the first No Maniac up in the building. Appreciate that. I just been working hard, y'all, on the grind, trying to get paid. You know how it go. So everybody have them kind of transitional periods. But I'm back to what I love to do, especially on a Friday night, because this is off season. It's where we get to challenge each other about our knowledge, discuss all the great things that's going to happen with the team. So I'm really excited about today. We're going to bring you some guys that we've already brung to you, but I'm not sure everybody's checked out the tape. And that's what we're looking at, is guys that really will be on the Bears' radar, but not maybe on every fan's radar.
Look, man, let me just say thank everybody that's watching. It's only a handful of people watching so far, but as people come in, welcome you guys in. And look, man, I watched so much tape this offseason, FFG. I ain't never watched this much tape, and I was a football player. I mean, I ain't never watched this much video in my life, but it was like a labor, but it was a labor of love, man, because it's like for me, it's how I stay close to the game. I stay connected to the game. I love evaluating players. This is that's fun to me, you know what I mean? Because I got, I'm not like a lot of people, man, that needs to watch, umpteen hours of one individual to be able to determine what I need to see. It don't take me long, man. You know what I mean? I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I can see things that translate. It's something, I don't know. It's just an innate ability that I have, man. And I feel pretty good about these players now. These are sleepers. These are sleeper standout players. I mean, these are guys that aren't getting talked about quite as much. There's a handful of them that's definitely getting some conversation, but these are guys that, I think are going to make an impact. Now, I can't say right away because you never know what situation any one of these guys could be going in, whatever spot they're, whether it be a receiver, running back, defensive tackle. You never know what team they're going to get drafted on. So it's hard to say whether or not this person's going to make an impact right away when he gets into the NFL. It might take a year or so before he gets on the field and gets some real, reps. But I have no doubt in my mind that when they do get the reps that they deserve, these dudes are going to turn up. No question in my mind, every single last one of them. There's 10 of them in here. Every single last one of them, I think, are dudes, 110%. But, that's how I feel about it. Anything you want to talk about before we get into this, FFG?
Well, thinking about like the Bulls right now, we had some heavy hitters that everybody was proud of and thought they was going to take us someplace. And these guys are probably the dudes that's now carrying the Bulls, the younger group that's finally getting the playing time, and then you can see what they can do. And they making it happen.
Yeah. It's like there's gonna be, I would just say probably 3/4 of these guys are gonna get to a team and they're gonna probably get rotation right away. About 3/4 of them. It's gonna be always that small percentage of guys that going to get drafted on a good team and ain't going to see the rotation that he's looking for right away. But I have no doubt, man, no doubt in my mind who these guys are, what they are, and what they can bring to a team. And hopefully, the Bears can snag a couple of these guys at least, man. I got strong confidence that we're going to get a 2 or 3 of these guys that I've been, profiling over these past few months, man. I'm pretty sure we're going to get some of these players, FFG.
Hey, if we trade back, you never know what's going to happen and who's going to benefit the team and the way they're going to be utilized going forward.
Yeah. So I didn't like put these players in any kind of particular order, no positions. I just pulled up the guys that right away. And again, this is probably going to be the first of probably going to be a 2, maybe a 3-part series of guys that really, really stuck out to me that are going to be sleepers in this draft. Ain't getting a lot of pub right now, but I feel really, really strong about it. I'm very confident in these football players. But without further ado, FFG, you want to get started?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's pull up the first player. This ain't gonna be no surprise to nobody.
Nobody.
At all. This first player ain't gonna be no surprise to nobody. Hold on, I got the wrong stuff. I got to get the wrong thing.
Oh man.
Right, here we go. First guy. Let me move the screen around a little bit. Damien Martinez, running back out of Miami. No surprise to nobody. This guy tickles my fancy. I'm talking about when I think about a Chicago Bears running back, there's a certain kind of running back that just permeates my mind, my whole psyche. And it's this guy right here. Out of several running backs in this draft that I really, really like. This guy I'm talking about for a certain purpose. I'm talking about the physical part of the football game, which isn't going anywhere. And this is a black and blue division. This is a blue collar town. This town loves physicality on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But an offensive player, running back, that can really get the crowd out of their seat with physical runs. This guy has them in boatloads. This is a physical football player, Damien Martinez. 232 pounds. He's a load, and he gets better and better and better the later the game goes on. And you can imagine how that would translate in a city like Chicago, when it's cold, that wind's coming off Lake Michigan, and, guys are tired. You seeing dudes with their hands on their hips. Last thing they want to do is see you turn around and hand this ball off to this dude right here, 232 pounds. He gets his feet behind him and gets up a little bit of speed. Good night. Don't get in front of him. You better try to side tackle him because Damien Martinez is that business. And I mean that business. So this is one of those guys, as soon as I turned on the tape, FFG, it was just like, holy crap. Why ain't people talking about this cat? I was blown away when I turned on the tape, and consistently how he was able to put up the kind of numbers he's been able to do, whether it be at Miami or whether it was at Oregon State. I think it was Oregon State. This guy is a stud running back, man. It's just guys just overshadowing him right now. But he is absolutely a stud running back who I think is a sleeper, and I think he's going to immediately. This is one of the ones I think is going to immediately impact the team. He's going to get in that rotation, and he's going to be a beast. What do you think about Damien Martinez?
I think number one, he is your man crush of the offseason.
One of them.
Number two, he is everything you said he was. He is a punishing running back that gets yards, can wear defense down, and he's fast enough so when he gets to the open field, he can actually break a long run. So once you worn a team down, now once you want to close the door, you put him in, or even the first quarter, if you want to soften him up, you can put him in, and you can really play that thunder and lightning game because of his size. He's not the kind of running back that gets worn down generally, and he would work perfectly in a 2-back system, in my opinion, because he does have the wherewithal to see the hole. And that's one thing that a lot of running backs you're going to see in this draft. Some of them are great at seeing the hole and some of them ain't. And he's one of them that's great at seeing the hole and can squeeze and mesh the hole to get what your boy Bieniemy wants is those 4.5 yards of carry, between the tackles. That's one thing he stressed last week. So I don't see why they wouldn't invest in a kid like this. And it's not going to be a first or a second round pickup. You can get him in the third, and you've already bolstered your running game tremendously.
I like what Derek Guy says. Imagine him being behind that Ohio State offensive line. The conversation would be different. There ain't no question in my mind, Derek. It is no question in my mind. This guy under a different set of circumstances. So he struggled a little bit. He transferred into Miami this offseason, and he struggled in the first several games. He just really couldn't. The style of offense was, I guess, a little bit different for him, and it might have been the play calling and just trying to retain the information and the blocking scheme. It was different than what he did out at Oregon State. It is Oregon State, but either way, once he figured it out, that second half of the season might have been the best in college football. Might have been the best in college football, and that includes Ashton Gillotte. This dude just tore it up the second half of the season. I'm telling you right now. I don't know who needs to hear this, but Damien Martinez is the real deal. There's nothing about his game. He's not missing anything. Quickness, lateral agility, being able to make somebody miss in the hole, the power. He's got the acceleration. He's not going to run off and run no 80-yard sprints. He might get ran down, but he's got a little bit of long speed that comes along with that power. He's not no slowpoke for sure. But I was highly impressed by Damien Martinez the minute I turned on the tape, and I never stopped being impressed the more and more I looked at him. This is one of those dudes, man. This is going to be one of those guys. He's going to be legit on the next level. I believe that 110%. But on to the next guy, Omar Norman-Lott. What's funny about this football player? This is Omar Norman-Lott, defensive tackle out of Tennessee, 6'3", 315 pounds. What's funny about how I stumble onto his film? It happens to me quite often because I'm looking at somebody else. I'm going to look for somebody else. And the next thing you know, somebody's just flashing and flashing. I'm like, who is this cat? And so I was going to look at, there's another defensive tackle there, bigger guy, number 21. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. It might be Omar Thomas or something like that. But his last name is Thomas, number 21. And I was there to look at that film. And this guy just kept flashing and flashing, and that engine and that effort. When you think about a 3 technique, which is what he's going to probably play, in this defense, he's going to definitely kind of be featured as a 3 technique if he comes to Chicago. But he will play some nose at times too. He's going to be a rotational defensive tackle. This guy's engine, I'm telling you, FFG, it is unreal. This guy, from the moment the ball is snapped on the very first snap, he's going. To the very end, he is going. And what you're looking for is what it says on the right side of the screen, right there at the top. Creates havoc. That's the thing you circle when you're talking about Omar Norman-Lott. He just creates havoc from the minute he gets in the game. He's going to penetrate and get upfield constantly. One thing I would love, if I had a chance to talk to him, I'd be like, dog, you got to stay off the ground a little bit. His effort is so relentless. Sometimes he will overrun a play and get off balance and fall down, but his intent is there, and he actually gets in there and makes plays. He may not make that tackle, he may not make that sack, but him getting inside that backfield will deter and redirect the running back in a minute. He's got to go the other way because number 55 is right there in your face. But Omar Norman-Lott, the beginning, from the moment I looked at his tape, when I isolated it, it just never stopped getting better. I'm highly confident that I think that this is one of the top defensive tackle sleepers in the draft. I think he might be. He's right there with the best of them out there. And I don't care how people are ranking him. It don't matter to me. Those are those people's eyes. I think this guy is probably, I would just say, pretty close to the most impactful 3 technique in the draft. That's how sure I am about this guy's film. But this is a sleeper standout to me for sure, FFG.
Welcome in Illinois Jones, Dodgy 34, and Derek Guy, of course, Super No Maniac. He doesn't have any injury concerns in college. He's been in a rotation most of his time in college, so he hasn't really had the every down effect that you see a lot of great three techs in the league. But as a rotational player, he's going to give you everything that he has and then some, because he is going to move his man. He's going to split the gap. He's going to try his hardest. Now, once he gets some better coaching that he got at Tennessee, because they had so many people on that defensive front where they couldn't, because they had about 15 dudes in Tennessee. So he was in that scrum trying to get on the field. When he gets to the NFL, he'll have more generalized coaching for how his ability can actually turn into production. And that's what the only thing that you don't see with him is the big gaudy numbers that you see with a lot of these other defensive tackles, because of the rotation and because of the multitude of different formations and looks they ran with at Tennessee.
He is I don't have a doubt in my mind that he's one of the upper tier defensive tackles in this class. And as a three tech particularly, I think he's, if not, he's probably 1, 2, or 3 up there with the most disruptive ones in this class. And that includes the kid from Ole Miss. And that includes TJ Sanders. That includes some of the guys, Mason Grant. He's right there with those guys to me. And if not, in my opinion, maybe at times even more effective and creates more havoc. I'm telling you, Omar Norman-Lott, let's just say he gets into a rotation where he doesn't have to play, way too many snaps in the game. That's the key with defensive linemen. They can get too many reps, too many snaps, and you can wear them thin. And if they got to play too many of them, you end up not looking so good at the end of the game because you need a breather. But, depending on what your rotation is and how much depth you have, he could be in a situation, especially if he came to Chicago, where he's fresh every time he came in there. And so he's going to disrupt. And that's the key for a three technique. You got to be able to disrupt a play. And so let me holler at Illy Jones right quick. None of these guys, he says, no matter do any of these guys have injury concerns. None of them that I know have anything that stuck out. I didn't do too much homework into it, but usually when I go research a guy, you just Google them and you go to websites that do bios on them. You can find stuff like that. And I don't remember seeing anything that stuck out with any of these guys. I might have to go back and double check, but I don't think I've seen anything. But yeah, that's what I think about that. Let me holler at Ron Winarski, who just busted up in this piece. White Ghost. Let me see. Yeah, hey, Derek Farmer. That's why I say we're gonna probably have to do another show. 2 or 3 more of these things or something, man. But Josh Farmer out of Florida State. Yes, sir. Ron Winarski says, what are the chances the Bears draft Jeanty at 10? It's always a good chance that if he's there, they might take him. But in my opinion, I don't think the first couple of picks for the Bears shouldn't be sexy. In my opinion, they should be handling the trenches, man, because you did good, getting some sturdy pieces to get you started, to kind of solidify a couple of things. Now you need some depth behind them, some blue chip depth behind them. In my opinion, you just go right in the trenches with the first 2 picks. In my opinion, that's what I would do. But, I'm not the GM. They don't pay me for doing this crap. So that's what I think about that, Ron. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they got Jeanty, but that's, in my opinion, that's where they messed up last year, was going for a sexy pick instead of getting some trenches with the first couple of picks. So that's just what I think about it. White Ghost says, if we stay at 10 and you being the GM, who you taking, Nomad? It depends on who's there. Like every time I'm there, you saw the mock draft I did last time. Let me see. Let me pull that up right now. Let me pull him off the screen. Omar Norman-Lott. I moved back. I just moved back. And that's what I did with the first couple of picks. The first 3 picks, I went right in the trenches because I believe the second round is the finger-licking good part of the draft, second and third round. That's where the meat and potatoes are in this draft to me. Now, if I'm sitting there at 10, it's still going to look something like this. It may not be Landon Jackson and Josh Conley first. It might be Michael Williams and Who knows? Michael Williams, it might be Jonas Savanea, it could be Josh Conley, but one of those three guys I think are very valuable at that spot and at those two spots. And so that's just where my mind is right now. But let's get to the next guy. Give me a second. Hold on. Buy now. Let me tell you, buy now. And I know when we first started talking about Brashard Smith, running back out of SMU, 5'10", 195 pounds, I don't think too many people, if any, knew who the hell he was. Then all of a sudden he gets down to the Senior Bowl, and then he goes to the combine, and now everybody and their mom is talking about Brashard Smith. Like I said, they was. You guys remember? You guys been with us for a long time. Y'all been with us for a long time. You remember how early it was when I started talking about Brashard Smith, and I told you then. I said, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I said, he's going to go to the Senior Bowl, and then he's going to go to the Combine. And when he's done with those two events, everybody's going to be talking about it. In fact, the Chicago Bears have already scheduled a 30 visit for him. And so just to let you know, your boy over here got some eyes on him, man. I can evaluate some talent. This guy right away stuck out like a sore thumb on tape, jumped out right away, had me like, uh-oh. What is this right here? And he has that Jahmyr Gibbs type of explosion to him, man. He's a big playmaker, and anytime you put the ball in his hand. So he transferred over to SMU from Miami, where he was a receiver. And they just decided, you know what? We're going to put the ball in your hands as a running back, and let's see how you take to it. Took right off. FFG, this guy's tape is so damn explosive. This is the guy. If they're looking for a lightning, we do have DeAndre Swift. If somehow DeAndre Swift doesn't remain on this roster, or he stays on this roster for another year, this is the guy you want to have to replace him. This is the kind of football player you want to have to replace him, because you won't take a step back for that lightning role you want in your offensive running game. You want that thunder and lightning. That lightning needs to be a certain type of football player, and Brashard Smith is it. In spades. I got nothing but 110% confidence this dude's he's going to turn up when he gets to the NFL. No question.
Well, unlike a lot of y'all, my dad was from South Carolina. So I routinely watch Clemson. And this year, SMU joined the SEC. So I got to watch him a lot on the SEC, the ACC network. And you only got to watch one game, the game that they played against Clemson in ACC championship. That's how Clemson got to the playoffs. And this kid was no joke. Absolutely no joke. Every time he touched the ball, it was a sight to see. And I think he had like 260 some yards all purpose on Clemson, and they barely lost. And if you really want a speed dude, especially a guy that knows how to run routes, because he used to be a receiver. So now he's basically just getting the ball on a short handoff compared to a short pass, and how dynamic he is with the ball in his hands. So one thing you can do with picking up a guy like this, especially if they want to revamp the running back room this season, this offseason, they can get him, and they can get a thumper like Ollie Gordon or whoever else they want to be the power. And that could be their rotation going forward, because I really don't think that the running back situation they have, they're mostly special teams players. One's already hurt. Another one is concussion prone, and one's only signed through this year. So they can revamp this whole running back room in a heartbeat. But if you want your explosive running back to be that thunder and lightning situation, you have him going forward, if that's what the Bears want to do. And I'm pretty sure that our head coach has been watching film constantly on the type of players he wants to put in position to do so.
Listen, man, I imagine the Bears backfield when this draft is over. And in my mind, you this is just me. In my mind, you move back with a purpose, and just to accumulate a couple of more picks, because in my opinion, you sit perfectly to be able to revamp your whole entire running back room with two running back picks. As of right now, I don't know that we have quite the capital to do it, but you know what I mean? I really believe that this is one of those situations where I think we need to move back and get a couple running backs just to revamp the whole entire room, because you're doing a good job as it is for, making sure your offensive line is getting better. But you do this to make sure you got 2 running backs for the next 5 years, at least 4 or 5 years. You good. And so to me, this is the perfect piece to fit in that room, man. It's absolutely the perfect running back to complement a bigger, more physical running back to have a dominant run game, man. And I dream of things like this. I dream of this. I imagine this all the time, man. I can see this guy on this football team, 110%. But yeah, Brashard Smith, I think highly of him, stuck out on the tape right away for me. And I stand 10 toes down on him. I believe, and the Bears think he's a guy too. If they got him as a 30 visit, they want to bring him in here. So let's get to the next guy. Savion Williams. Listen, I think this guy might be pound for pound, the best physical athlete in this draft. He and Jalen Milroe physically together, 1A and 1B. This guy might be the most explosive, the most physically impressive football player in the entire draft. I know that's saying a lot. Nobody needs to tell me. I know that's saying a whole lot. But this is how impressed I am. You got, even with Abdul Carter and your Ashton Gillottes of the world, I think this guy is physically more impressive than anybody in this draft. This is Savion Williams, receiver out of TCU, 6'5", 226 pounds. He's a straight up nuclear weapon the minute you put the ball in his hands. And he can take it from out of the backfield. He can get up under center. He can go out in the slot. He can go out of X. He can go out of Z. Just put the ball in his hand and watch the explosion take place. It's a 4th of July event. If he's got space to run in, forget about it. He's housing it. He is that impressive. Like this guy's film, I just couldn't turn it off. To this day, I started watching this stuff 3 months ago, FFG, and I ain't stopped looking at his tape pretty much every day since then, man. That's how impressed I am with Savion Williams. This is a dog amongst dogs, man. This guy stands out like a sore thumb. I 110% say with confidence, this is the best physical athlete that I have seen in this draft. Football players probably pound for pound the best guy there.
This is the receiver that Poles should have picked instead of Bayless. If you're looking at the draft, where you had an opportunity to pick somebody in the 3rd round, this would have been the guy, and he would have never been happier, because all the things he thought that Bayless was, this guy has in spades, plus size and hands to boot. So whenever you talk about a guy that can do everything on the field, look at them gorilla arms he has. He's got the kind of spatial relationship to catching passes that you want to have in somebody who's 6'5" as well. And that to me is so much more important, because now you have a guy that can put the ball pretty much anywhere or in a certain area that you can go up and get. And he would fit in perfectly with what they have with Rome and DJ going on. And really, we would be destructive on offense along with Cole Kmet and the running game that we're building with the line that we have or constructing currently. So I see this guy as being an X factor on what you want to do on offense, because who are you going to guard? It really will be pick your poison going forward, because every time you see this dude on the field, and White Ghost, we finna get to your boy. You was right. He's coming up, just so you know. He's coming up. I didn't want to bring that up, in the chat when we talking about somebody else, but he's coming up. So don't worry about it. He may be a 5th round pick, but if he is, that's a great deal for us. So, but yes, this kid right here plays for one of them teams that don't get a lot of high profile. They wasn't, in the top echelon of teams in college football, but they have playmakers, and he's one of the top playmakers coming out in the draft that nobody's really giving a lot of credence to. Plus, he's blazing fast. So,
really quick,
you can't go wrong.
Derek Guy, if you haven't seen tape on him, you ain't got to go do all the taking all his reps. All you got to do is turn on this kid's highlights, and you'll see exactly what I mean by nuclear weapon. And what I mean, and to Illy's point, no, he's not the crispest route runner. He's got decent hands too, but he's not like a polished receiver, like a polished, Stephon Diggs type of route runner or anything like that. He's definitely raw when it comes to that, but he's so physically dominant. And this is why you have coaches, man. This is why you bring in coaches that can really polish up a piece of unvarnished gem. So you can take that chisel to him and really give him some tools with that athleticism, that physicality that he brings to the table. I mean, he literally will line up as X, he will line up at Z, he will line up at slot, he will line up at quarterback, and he will line up at running back and be dynamic at either one of them. Literally, they will put him in Wildcat and he run over people, run around him, juke past him, anything. When I say he's a nuclear weapon, I mean just that. He is the truth when it comes to just physically being able. I mean, the minute he touches the ball, he can hit his head on the goalpost, period. This is a specimen right here. And you put this guy on your team, and you just got way more explosive as an offense, period. That's what it is with Savion Williams. Anybody that hasn't checked him out, it's worth doing it right now. Creature Culture said he's checking out the tape right now. Come back and let me know what you saw. Let's get to the next guy. This is Kyle Williams, slot receiver de jour out of Washington State, 6 foot, 186 pounds. It's my understanding that he was met with down at the Senior Bowl. I'm not sure if they scheduled him for a 30 visit, but I think I read somewhere that he was one of them. He and Xavier Restrepo were getting talked about at least for a 30 visit. Now, this guy, to me, out of every slot, I'm impressed with the slot receivers in this draft. It's one of the positions that probably isn't getting, when you say this is a thick draft at different positions, slot receiver is definitely one of those positions. I think there are some really polished pieces of just jewels in there. And I think pound for pound, Kyle Williams is the best slot receiver in this draft, the most explosive, the most dynamic in this draft. He's got the vision of a running back, like a great running back. When he gets the ball in short areas, short spaces, all that thing has to do is be quasi blocked up, and he'll hit his head on the goalpost almost every single time. His block setup, his acceleration when he sees it, polished route runner, great hands. Acceleration gets from 0 to 10 pretty damn fast. I think he is the best slot receiver in the draft. The minute I turned on the tape, I was wild and blown away by what I saw. And it didn't surprise me that the Bears wanted to meet with him, because I want to meet with his ass and his mom. You know what I mean? He's that bad. He's that bad. I think this is the pound for pound best slot receiver to be had in this draft. That's how sure I am about Kyle Williams, 6 foot, 186 pounds out of Washington State. That boy is the truth. I'm telling you, FFG.
Paul, we got you covered too. Don't worry about it. The chat is just blowing up, man. They like read the script before we got here because they know exactly what we're going to talk about, which I love. Kyle Williams, though, he's really what everybody wanted to see in Tyler Scott, to be able to play like with the hands as a playmaker, because what you saw in college was dynamic. It hasn't translated to the NFL. This kid is in a better situation with a better offensive style that they ran at Washington State, which will allow that transition to be easier, because what you saw at Tyler Scott was Yak King. This kid really is a Yak King because he really does understand the concept of every play. And when he gets the ball, he's a beast after that. And you really got to knock him out of bounds or slam him on his head. That's really how it's got to be for this kid, because at 6 foot 286, he's actually built pretty solid as a slot wide receiver compared to, because we have a bunch of, shorter, fast guys that we've got in the offseason. He's a little taller, but his range and his playmaking ability is there. So once you get him the ball, he's a terror in open space. And that's where you're going to see a difference between him and some of these fast guys, where you just got to get them the ball and they can just run. he's going to run with a purpose to make people miss, to get to the spot where he needs to be able to turn up field and actually complete the plays that need to be done to get out of bounds or whatever in a 2-minute drill type of things. So he's somebody that a lot of teams are going to kind of relish to have at that third wide receiver slot or spot.
Man, I'm gonna embellish just a little bit more to be real particular about. Some of you guys are looking at the highlights at least right now. One thing I have you pay attention to, have you kind of take note of, is transition. What do I mean by transition? The time it takes to get the ball in your hand, turn up the field, and accelerate. Get the ball, turn, and accelerate. Watch how easy and seamless it is when once he touches the ball, especially in the short area pass. He gets that ball in his hand and transition into a running back. Watch how quick and seamlessly he does that. That's like a golden trait for a slot receiver because you're getting the ball in short areas quite often. And your ability to be able to grab that ball, secure it, turn up, and transition those hips into a runner after you get the ball in your hands, it's a trait that not all slot receivers have. All slot receivers wish they had and can be as fluid as Kyle Williams. I'm telling you, he is pound for pound the best slot receiver in this draft. And I think there's a lot of great ones there. But he is the guy, in my opinion, out of the whole bunch. And the minute I turned on this tape, I was smitten. I was like, as bad as we need a slot receiver, we can find somehow to get this guy on this roster. At whatever round he gets drafted in, it's going to be a steal. Because I think he's a first-round talent. That's just how strongly I think of Kyle Williams. I think he's a bad boy. And just you guys that's looking at his tape right now, watch the transition. How when he gets the ball in his hand, he turns into a runner when he touches it. Watch how seamless it is. But check him out, Kyle Williams, slot receiver out of Washington State, 6 foot, 186 pounds. That boy's the truth, man. Let me get to a couple of comments before we get started again. Let me see who's.
Scroll's acting up as usual.
Kyle, you reading people's stuff, man. Stop reading people's stuff, man. Let me see. The creature coach is looking at that film right now. He's looking at it right now. I don't know who Brett Coleman is. Yeah, I think McConkey is, let's just say, McConkey is probably a little bit twitchier just because he's just smaller. But, he's got everything McConkey's got and long speed to go with it. All right, let me get to the next guy. This is edge rusher Ashton Gillotte out of Louisville, 6'3", 275-pound beast. When I say beast, put the emphasis on that. Exclamation point, or whatever you do. But let me tell you right now, it's very few guys that I watched on film this offseason that impressed me quite as much as him. It's like I've been watching him for 2 years, as a matter of fact. I thought he should have came out last year. And, the fact that he didn't, I was just like, oh, hopefully he's not going to be one of those guys that, gets into that last year, stand too long, and he's not going to put up the right kind of performance and consistently. No, he was every bit and probably more this year. Ashton Gillotte he's a diesel engine is what he is. I mean, his motor is relentless. He plays with a mean streak to him, and he's physically more dominant than the people that he plays against. He's going to beat you with power. He can play edge rusher. He can play 3 technique. There's not a position on that defense that I didn't see him play. I see him play nose guard at 275 and hold his own. This is a guy that as soon as you turn on the tape, whether it be highlights or you're watching games in full, he is definitely going to be etched in your brain as one of the better football players in this draft, pound for pound at any position. That's how strongly I felt about. He's another one of those guys that I haven't been able to turn the tape off on it. He is that impressive to watch. He's got a mean streak to him. I don't know what it is, but this guy plays with the type of chip on his shoulder that you want to see in Chicago. He's the attitude. He's the attitude, and he's got every bit of the physical gifts to be a pass rusher and an inside from the outside and the inside. He can do it all. The question is, I think his arms are pretty long. You know, I didn't get any arm length or measurements on that. I just watched the tape. I let other people that do all that kind of stuff do that. But what I see on tape is an absolute dominant terror of a defender on as an edge rusher or a D tackle. This guy is going to be the truth. He's one of those guys who I hope can come into a situation, especially in Chicago, where they can get him in rotation early. But I'm telling you right now, Ashton Gillotte is probably one of the most dominant football players that I've seen in this entire draft class. I mean, he is physically a specimen, and he uses it well. The size, his hands are heavy. I mean, he's dominant in all areas of his game, all facets of his game. He gets it done. Great balance, great quickness, great burst, great pursuit of the ball, and that engine is just relentless. I'm telling you, Ashton Gillotte, if you haven't seen him on film, he is going to be a treat for you. Anybody that's looking at film right now, just turn on the highlights and you'll see exactly what I mean. Straight up chip on his shoulder. What say you, FFG?
I think a lot of people look at him and don't see starter written on him. I see a young Grady Jarrett, that he plays with that kind of power and instinct and relentlessness that you need in the rotation at defensive tackle, that can move out to edge, that can play anywhere on the line. You want somebody who's versatile. Now, depending on what Dennis Allen thinks, this kid can be utilized in a number of different ways. Is he the super dominant, 6'5", 326 pounds or whatever, three technique or one technique that most teams have? No. But if you want somebody who's going to get in the game and constantly, move the pile, constantly get after the running back, constantly rush the passer from the inside and can slide outside when you need him to, then this is the kid you want in the rotation, because he's only going to get better and better with better coaching. And people forget he played at Louisville, where they don't got, blue chippers on the edge. They don't got blue chipper at the, one technique. So he had to do it all, and he performed well. And if you look at his tape, he performed very well in the ACC, which is a conference that I watch a lot, and he held his own against everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say enough about Ashton Gillotte, and I'm always tempted whenever I've done a mock draft. Sometimes you got guys in your mind that you just want to make sure, and it's never enough. We never have enough draft picks to get all the guys that I want. But I'm always trying to find, like, this is one of those. He's one of those guys that this is why you don't have to draft. I mean, you don't have to reach for any particular kind of player. If you need guys in the trenches, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I'm pretty confident in what I've seen on film that where I can get all the way down to the end of the fourth round and get you a really good edge rusher or a D tackle, and even to the fifth and sixth rounds, I can get you some pretty competent guys. But this guy right here is going to be probably one of the steals of the draft. Ashton Gillotte is that dominant of a football player, and it's so impressive to watch on tape. Like, you're a pure football enthusiast like me, and you just appreciate the game for what it is, just the brutality of it, the physicality of it. And if you can really appreciate that, you watch this kid right here and you just gush. Ashton Gillotte is a straight up treat, and I'm not scared to tell anybody who's got ears to listen. This is one of the most physically dominating football players in the draft, of a lot of them, but he is one of the most. He's right there at the top of the echelon with that physicality, man. He's a beast. Ashton Gillotte, 6'3", 275 pounds, senior out of Louisville. He's going to be a treat. Turn on the film, you guys.
And he's going to be a better pass rusher than probably an inside player, which is a great break for a Montez Sweat on the other side, where if you still need a cat that can play on the defensive line on rundowns, and if he's nicked up or whatever on pass downs, he can still create pressure and get to the quarterback.
Yeah, right, Smitty Q. The word dominant has to be circled when you're watching his play, because that's all you're going to see is pure dominance. All right, let's get to the next guy. We got a few more to go. This is Marcus Mbow, right offensive tackle out of Purdue, 6'5", 300-pound junior. I'm gonna read what it says on the screen here right quick because I forgot I wrote this. Should be arrested for assault after each game, and I'll get back. I'll circle back to that. More technically superior to his peers. Marcus Mbow, the athleticism number one is off the charts. I'm gonna say that one more time. Marcus Mbow's athleticism as a tackle is off the charts. He is physically capable, in my opinion, of playing any single position along the offensive line, whether it be tackle, guard, or center. If you want to train him up as a center, this is the perfect kind of specimen to do that with. Marcus Mbow is just genetically, physically more superior than his peers. He just is. I don't know where he's just won the gene lottery or something, the gene pool lottery, but holy crap, this dude, it's like I couldn't turn off his tape either. He just constantly, the more and more tape you watch, just physically beating people up. I mean, with those hands, I mean, he'll let you, like, I've seen a couple of plays. He's got this technique that he does. Like, just say, for instance, there's a stretch play going to his side, and he needs to get his hands on a guy and kind of, touch him up a little bit because the guard is coming right next to him to get his hands on the guy, right? And so just to transition him to the guard, he's going to beat his ass a little bit. He's going to hit you with them paws and slap you over your head and do everything to you. He is like, when I start thinking about the kind of offensive line that I think Ben Johnson wants, I think he wants a very athletic offensive line, guys that can really move and really get punishing in the run game. And when you start thinking about those types of guys, and you want to be in attack mode with your offensive line, you see this kid play on film, and you be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what he's probably looking for. You start thinking about Jonah Jackson and how he plays. You start thinking about Darnell Wright and how he plays when plays come to his side and they ask him to get up the field and get to the next level and block. This guy has every trait that I know Ben Johnson would be looking for. Here's the question about Marcus Mbow that people seem to be having about him right about now. Is he a guard? Is he a tackle? I think he'll be fine. Like, some of the better offensive tackles I've seen in this league are anywhere between 305, 315. And so he's right there in that neighborhood. I don't see him struggle one single bit when it came to bigger, stronger athletes. He held his own. I'm talking about his anchor is nice. His hands are violent. Number one, he's going to beat you up with his hands. But I don't see any reason why, people look at his measurements and be like, oh, he's a guard. He might be, but I don't see any reason why you would not give this guy proper representation to try and win a tackle spot on your team. I think he can do any position along that offensive line, and I feel confident about it. It's one of those tapes that sticks in your mind, and you never forget. Like, this guy he's going to be one of them, FFG. No question about it. Marcus Mbow is the truth.
Welcome to Joe's Barber, Archer, Super No Maniac. I'm Smitty Q, Mr. Mayhem. This kid, he's going to be able to get some of the best coaching he's ever got coming into the league. And it really depends on where you want to play him. Now, I really think at Purdue, he played against some of the best pass rushers that you're going to see coming out of this draft. You got to think he played against Michigan, Ohio State, Illinois, Nebraska, all the dudes that we've been talking about. He's gone up against them and fared very well. So we're talking about NFL ready talent today that he's been playing against his entire career at college. So he's not afraid. And with his mobility, his violence that he plays with, he's not going to be afraid of anybody. So if the Bears do draft him, Mbow, they might make him the right tackle and then move, But I really don't think there should be a shift in the line. I think that they need to look for a pure left tackle. But you never know what the Bears are thinking, especially if Brashard sees an avenue where he can actually make two young guys be the cornerstones going forward. What's up, Aunt Moss?
When I see, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying this guy has the talent. Is there. He's got that nasty streak down his back and up his forehead and around his ankles. So, and with his mobility and his size and his athleticism, he's going to be a quality tackle going forward. He really needs the coaching and the way that we can run, that we're going to run our offense, especially they're going to run that outside zone. He's perfect for it. So that's what I'm looking at as far as his traits concerned. If they wanted to move Darnell to the left side, which they could, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the best option, but he'll be playing next to a Pro Bowler either way. So that may benefit the Bears more in the long run than in the short term.
Well, one thing I can tell you that I'm pretty sure about when I'm looking at these, and again, man, I tell people this all the time. I reach out to my teammates that played the position and know the position at a high level. And I ask them, you know what I mean, when I first started kind of doing these evaluations, I check with them. And, you know, when I check with them about different players, especially this guy, there's like, this dude can probably play any position along the offensive line. And I was like, I'm saying that to myself too. You can see certain traits about somebody's athleticism and his grit and his strength, like his base power, his lower body he's really strong, man. And so that translates well to whatever job you want to assign him to on the line, whether it be center, guard, tackle, either side of the ball. I think his athleticism really translates to anything. It's just about putting him there, giving him the reps, and starting to coach him up. I have nothing but confidence in this cat. And once you turn on the tape, you can't turn it off. It's like he's so physically dominant, athletically, and just all the little physical traits that you're looking for. I mean, he's the whole package to me. You know what I mean? He's just really, really good. And I'm just hoping and praying that the Bears see it this way. It wouldn't surprise me if they had this cat in for a 30 visit. It's not being reported yet, but it would not surprise me that Ben Johnson, Dan Rochar see this guy as a work of art, that you can get him in this building and start chiseling on him and turn him into a masterpiece, man. I feel that confident about his ability. He's just superior athletically than most of the guys I've seen in this draft, period. But that's Marcus Mbow, 6'5", 300 pounds out of Purdue, man. You guys go check him out.
You want to answer Ron?
Let me see what Ron say.
Did he put players in there? Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's a punishing guy, Ron. I mean, physically, you'll see that. If you do nothing but turn on the highlights, you'll see right away his hands. I mean, he abuses people, man. Somebody should call the police on his ass, to be honest with you. Let me get to the next guy.
What up, Minister Charles?
Jack Bech. This is Jack Bech, receiver out of TCU. TCU's got 3 guys on this list. It shouldn't surprise anybody, but this is Jack Bech, 6'2", 215 pounds. Another one of those guys that you turn on the tape and you just, he's a wide receiver. Let's be clear about it. And sometimes somebody, all right, so how I get the list of guys, I go look at the draft eligible. I look at the draft eligible guys from each team. And then I go look at the profile and I'm like, okay, he's a wide receiver, huh? 6'2", 215 pounds. I'm thinking, and maybe I'm guilty of being stereotypical. I'm not expecting to see an athlete. I'm not expecting to see an athlete whatsoever. But was I surprised? A pleasant surprise. This guy he's a physical athlete, man. I mean, he's got it all, man. He's got, I wouldn't say like breakaway long speed or anything like that, but you're talking about as a possession receiver. When you just lost Keenan Allen, you need a route technician, a guy that can get open and make himself available to a young quarterback. This is the kind of guy you might want to replace a Keenan Allen with. And I just heard that he was here. I mean, he met with the Bears down at the combine. I heard that. I'm pretty sure that's pretty factual. But this guy is another one of those films. You turn on the film and you just get more and more pleasantly surprised the more and more you get into it. I mean, it's hard to find something that's a weakness when it comes to Jack Bech. It's hard to find it. I couldn't really find it. I mean, it's other than maybe the pure long speed. And, to me, you don't have to be you don't have to have pure long speed to me to be a great receiver. I don't think so. I think you can be one of those guys that has good football speed, good game speed, and be a very effective football player on the next level. I think he's got it all, man. I mean, the strength, the power, just the physical ability to be able to absorb a hit. He's a guy that I just could not turn off the film on. I couldn't find a whole lot of weaknesses in his game. And I think he's going to be one of the steals of this draft, in the next couple, 2-3 years from now, we'll be back having this conversation for sure. FFG, I think Jack Bech is one of those guys.
Oh, I think I forgot who brought it up earlier, if it was White Ghost or somebody, but they were asking about Jack Bech, because we were talking about Savion Williams, and he is a consummate slot receiver to me. Am I on? Okay.
I can't give you that one, man. He's more X or Z.
No, you know what? He rules the middle of the field. He gets open. He plays well against the zone, and he's got tremendous hands. Now, he can play outside. Don't get me wrong. But certain wide receivers know where they're best suited to catch the ball. And I think he understands between the hashes is his gravy train. And a lot of his catches are in that area of the field where he eats constantly. And that's where I think he's going to do a lot of his damage, because he's not going to be the jump ball guy to the outside. Now, he'll have great catches to the outside because he'll get open and he knows the route, but he really determines the setup on the inside against a lot of different coverages where he's just like, he sees it immediately and boom, he's open. And now he's got the ball and he's off to the races. Or he hits a seam and he's gone. He beats the cover 2 or the cover 1 or, the dime package, and now he's open. So I really think when you see that, that's where he's going to exploit a lot of the weaknesses on a defense because of his knowledge of how the coverage is actually being put over the top. And being having to have a DJ Moore and a Rome Odunze like he had Savion Williams last year, it's going to benefit him more than most wide receivers because he's not going to be expected to be the number 1. But as a 2 or the 3, he's going to eat constantly. And he's going to really polish his game as far as that route running is concerned because he's really that good at it.
Man, Jack Bech, again, he's one of those guys. Like, if you made this list, I was constantly looking at your film and being like, damn, every single last one of them, for whatever reason, Jack Bech being the fact that he's already savvy as a route runner in college, it's almost professional level. I would just say he could transition right now and put him on the team right now, and he can get you some good numbers. But the physical nature of his game and him having a nice physical stature to him is going to bode well because he's going to have to do a lot of work across the middle, comeback routes and things like that. He really finds he's pretty good at finding holes in zones and sitting down and making himself available. He's going to see that. He's going to see a lot of that moving forward. You know what I mean? And one thing I don't think I speak to enough about a receiver that's really good, you're starting to get yourself at an advanced level once you can recognize defensive coverages. And so when you got hot routes and the quarterback just called one and you're looking at a certain coverage, let's say cover 2 or cover 3, and you know exactly what to do when that hot route is called. So he's expecting you to adjust your route according to the coverage. This guy is really proficient at that. Jack Bech is already that good as an experienced route runner and understanding coverages, man. That makes all the difference in the world for a receiver. Because if a receiver doesn't really understand what he's looking at and he's getting a hot route called to him, he can run himself into traffic and get laid out. Like this guy, I'm telling you, man, he's very savvy for a kid this young, man. And I think he's got nothing but pure upside. He definitely stuck out on tape out of a lot of guys I looked at, but he's only one of them. I got another one coming up right now. One of his teammates, LaMareon James, cornerback, 5'10", 190 pounds. He is probably, I'm talking about a man corner, and I'm going to get to the relationship of a really good man corner versus in addition to what not Ben Johnson, but what Dennis Allen is looking for. And so LaMareon James is absolutely the stickiest man-to-man cover corner that I've seen in this draft. Now, I know everybody's going to say, no, man, why are we looking at corner? There is to me, a slim outside chance that when you got a new defensive coordinator and he looks at this roster, and it's a chance he doesn't like a couple of guys on this roster. Might be Terrell, what's his name? I can't remember his name right now, but he could be looking at this roster and feeling like he needs a more physical, a more sticky cornerback. LaMareon James is definitely the guy. Like I can imagine. We just did a breakdown yesterday on Dennis Allen's defense and what kind of player you need to be in it. One thing we didn't focus on is the cornerbacks. We talked about the slot corner, but we didn't talk about the edge corners. Now this guy can be either. And so let me put two and two together. In Dennis Allen's defense, what you need to be able to do as a corner is you need to be sticky. And what I mean by sticky, I mean you need to be able to, like, this guy's got some of the better transitions. What do I mean by transitions? Technically, the cornerback is probably the most physical, technically demanding job you can play in football, period. Now, I played it. I know it. And I'm telling you, you have to be fluid at transitioning. What do I mean by transitioning as a defensive back? You have to be able to get in and out of breaks with the receiver, in phase with the route runner, in a timely fashion, stay right there in his hip pocket. Like, he is the best I've seen do it in college. I just kept looking at the tape. This guy is already technically superior than half the NFL corners in the league right now in college. He's like, I was watching Jalen about a year ago, working in the offseason and watching his transitions get better and better, working out with an expert that works on that kind of thing. And I'm seeing the same traits that I see in Jalen working out, getting ready for the season. I see it live in the game watching LaMareon James. I'm telling you, this guy is an impressive man-to-man corner, and man-to-man corner is what you need to be in this defense that we're about to be playing in. You need to be impressive. You need to be really, really sticky. And another thing that really sticks out to him, I don't know, I didn't count how many PBUs he has, but what is a PBU? It's a pass breakup. And I'm sure he's got quite a bit of those because he's always at the point of where the ball is being caught. He's always right there in phase to get his hands on it at least. I don't know that he got that many interceptions or anything like that, but some of that matters, but not quite as much as it is just to make the play. Don't give him nothing. And so that's what sticks out about LaMareon James. Absolutely sticky, transition and fluid hips, off the charts, next level. I mean, there's nothing I can really say bad about him, man. He's physical enough, and he'll come up and hit you. And so this is probably the best man-to-man corner I've seen in the draft, FFG, and I don't blink twice when I say that. You muted, bro.
He kind of reminds me of a Nathan Basher that plays much better man-to-man, that he's always on top of the receiver, so you don't get a chance to put balls in tight windows because he is perfect hand placement almost every time. Now, he may not have a lot of interceptions, but his PBUs are ridiculous, and he'll come up and make a tackle on anybody. Doesn't matter the size, tight end, wide receiver, running back, and when he hits you, that's the end of the run. It ain't like he getting drugged for 2-3 more yards. It's he hits you and you going down, or it's a gang tackle. And that's the end of your carry, whatever it is. And for him to be able to transition so well on everybody, regardless of the size of receiver, it is spectacular to watch. For a guy that's 5'10", he's basically a little bit bigger than me. And with his speed and athleticism, it's really outstanding the way he's always in the right position, whether it's over the top, underneath, or even off the ball slightly to make up that space when the ball's in the air.
This guy right here. Now, when it comes to Chicago and what we may or may not do, there's like for any like a defensive coordinator like Dennis Allen, I know for a fact that he's looking for a certain type of linebacker and he's looking for a certain type of cornerback in order for him to do and be effective in his play calling and scheming up the game plan. This guy right here fits the bill perfectly. There's no question in my mind if there's to be a corner drafted and given to Dennis Allen for this defense. This guy's got to be him and Azareye'h Thomas, who I think is the most complete corner, zone or man, in the draft. But just man-to-man corner, LaMareon James takes the cake. And I know that's what Dennis Allen is looking for. If he's looking for a cornerback, it's going to be a guy just like this. LaMareon James is the truth. 5'10", 190 pounds out of TCU. You check him out. If you do nothing else, look at them highlights and tell me what you thought. Holler at me in the comment section.
You want to take a look at it real quick because Derek Guy and Ron Winarski got some questions.
Let me see.
He says Thomas out of Florida State.
No. I think Azareye'h Thomas is the best all-around cornerback in the country. Now, LaMareon James, as far as man cover corners go, I think he's better than them all. But the whole package is Azareye'h Thomas easily for me. Easily. I don't know, Ron, I don't know that he got many interceptions. He's always around the ball. He's going to make plays on the ball, whether or not it's him that gets the interception. The fact that he's always getting his hands on the ball, he's going to cause interceptions, whether he gets them or not. He's a playmaker on the ball. Now, ball hawk, I can't say that I saw a lot of interceptions on film, if that's what you mean. I definitely didn't see a whole lot of that. All right, let's get to the next guy. We got 2 more to go. This guy, Ty Robinson, defensive tackle out of Nebraska, 6'6", 310 pounds. I'm just going to say this, man. When you're watching defensive tackle, this is a position I have fallen in love with over the past several years, and I just really spent a lot of time looking at these guys, evaluating, getting, just listening to my teammates and my boys that played it, having them talk to people and asking people. And, I'm what you guys don't know that goes on behind the scenes is detailed homework to really have a qualified assessment of what these guys are. And when I reached out to people about Ty Robinson, I already had my mind made up, to be honest with you. But it was nice to hear somebody else validate what you saw on film. And what I saw on film is another guy that I can say I saw pure dominance. Now, I mean, whether he's playing, whatever technique he's playing, whether it's interior at nose or 0 tech, 1 or 0, whether it's a 3 technique, 4 technique, 5 technique, this guy is Ty Robinson will affect the game 110%. He flashes dominance on a regular when you turn on the film on Ty Robinson. And in my opinion, he's one of the top 5 to 7 pure defensive tackles, whether it be nose tackle or it be 3 technique. He's one of the top 5 to 7 in this draft. And, I don't know that he's getting the kind of commentary around national media, local media that would probably validate that point. But in my eyes, I trust my eyes like an MF. I believe in what I see. And I've seen enough of Ty Robinson to tell you guys that this guy is going to turn it up on the next level, and he's going to be a factor. He's going to be a factor. This guy's as strong as an ox. He's strong as an ox, man, and he plays with that strength too. Heavy hands. It's just hard to move him. I mean, he's got a motor out this world too. Ty Robinson is everything. You turn on that tape, you just like, oh, I need to see more. Give me more. Give me. That's how you feel when you start watching his film. You just want to see more and more and more. And he doesn't let you down, man. No matter how much film you look at him, he's going to be dominant against whatever level of competition they put in front of him. He's going to be, in my opinion, one of the top 5 to 7 D tackles that comes out of this draft. I'm telling you, he's a treat to watch. You guys go check him out on film. But what did you see, FFG?
Oh, I religiously watched the Big Ten, and he really is getting slept on. Illinois Jones, you want somebody that's a winner, that wants to be coached hard. You have to think about it. He played at Nebraska versus all these top-tier offensive lines that are going in the NFL right now. They're coming out of Big Ten. And he was pushing them dudes around like they wasn't nothing for the most part. And he was getting in the backfield. He was holding double teams. He was slowing down the run. Because even though Nebraska was a terrible team, their defensive line wasn't that bad. And he was the main reason why, because he was putting hands on folks. And at 6'6", 310, 315 pounds, where he fluctuated this season, you're going to see a guy that can play all along the defensive line, exactly what Dennis Allen wants. And because of that size, speed, and strength, he can be valuable as not only a rotational piece, but how they want to stack their line at different times in the game. So you're getting a kid that holds his own against double teams. He's a terror one-on-one. And when he puts hands on you, you going backwards. You don't see him on the ground hardly ever. And that's what you want from defensive linemen that aren't getting pushed around and pushed back 3 and 4 or 5 yards on running plays, or even on, draws, that kind of stuff, or getting held up at the line of scrimmage where the quarterback has all day and they just hand fighting trying to get around somebody. This kid is not one of them people. He makes a difference.
One other thing I will add to about Ty Robinson that sticks out when you look at his film, you look at the size and the measurements right here on the film, on the screen, 6'6", 310. You expect the guy to play high. No, he plays with a great base of center of gravity. Plays very low, and has got a great physical point of attack, man. And he's got great balance as well. Great balance, man. Great leverage. He usually is. His wins, typically, when you look at him on film, if you look at it close enough and slow it down just to see what happens at the point of attack, and you'll see time and time again, he will win the leverage battle every single time. He will beat you to the punch, and he's low enough to the ground, and his pads are low enough that he's going to get that leverage. It's the low man wins philosophy. That's how you win. You get lower than the next guy, get your arms inside, and you win that battle. And so it turns into either throw him out the way, trashing him on the ground, or you swim over, or you rip under. You see a lot of rip under with Ty Robinson, and he's winning when he does it, man. And he's getting up the field, get vertical at the same time. The thrust is there. I'm telling you, Ty Robinson is one of, and as a matter of fact, one of you guys do me a favor. If somebody wouldn't mind going to the New Orleans Saints website and look at the 2024 roster. Look at number 90, and that's Brian Brzee. Come back and let me know, is he almost not the exact same measurements as Ty Robinson?
Out of Clemson.
Just telling you. So we're going to get to the next guy. And this is the very last guy we got, and I saved a good one. This is my guy, Jordan Phillips, 6'3", 320 pounds, only a sophomore out of Maryland. Look here, man. First thing, let me get this out the way first. Let me just go and get this house cleaned up real quick. He is raw, you guys. He is raw all get out. He's just raw as a salad. But I'm telling you, the traits and some of the flashes you see on film, what I see is if you got a great D-line coach inside your building, and he is looking at Jordan Phillips, his mouth is watering. And he's just biting at, just chewing at the bit, wanting to get this guy in his room. Because if he's seeing what I'm seeing, you're seeing basically baby Hercules. This dude is like the Hulk. Seriously, man. Like he's a real fork truck. He just picks up people and moves them out of the way. It's almost embarrassing watching him play against supposedly grown-ass men. It's embarrassing what he does to people. This dude, I think, with the right coaching, with the right training, the right, just nurturing that you need to do to bring a player from where he is now as a raw defensive tackle to where he's going to be. And he's a wrestler too, by the way. In case you guys didn't know, he's like a champion wrestler. And you can see that in his games. It's like he's so physically overwhelming to his opponents. It's like at Maryland, like if you watch all the tape like I did, you'll see times when Jordan Phillips, you can see he's not at his best because he's playing in too many snaps. Rotation was too thick for him. And that's what I mean by when you get these really superior defensive tackles, you got to make sure you got a plethora of guys to go along with them, and so that you can keep a fresh Jordan Phillips on the field. So this guy, I'm telling you, the embarrassing plays were remarkable. He was just picking up grown 310 plus pound guys and making them look like a bag of garbage that he was taking out, putting in his dumpster. It is embarrassing. I'm telling you, this might be, pound for pound, the tackle, the D tackle in this class that had the most upside out of all of them. This is like Jalen Carter and stronger. He makes Jalen Carter look like he's kind of a weakling. That's how good I think Jordan Phillips can be. I mean, his power is straight up impressive. Like this guy, I dream of Jordan Phillips getting on this team, and I know that he probably won't see a whole lot of rotation in his first season, but then again, he could surprise. He could surprise, but he can play any nose, 1, 0 tech, 3 tech, any one of those 3 positions. I'm confident Jordan Phillips can be dominant at. He's just one of those guys. I turned on the film and my eyes got big. I'm just like, holy shit, why ain't people talking about this one? But I'm telling you, the traits are unique, the power is unique, and the physicality is above pretty much anybody I've seen in this class outside of the guy we just showed, Ty Robinson. But that physicality is there, it's real, and I think he's going to be one of the steals of the draft, 110% FFG.
White Ghost, just for you, because you asked about him a long time ago, and I told you he was coming. I know how many of y'all out there is Fantastic Four fans, but just think of him as a thing, because he get in the line, he just moving people, and you ain't moving him. And the power that he displays on the inside is ridiculous because he collapsed the whole line of scrimmage, not just 1 or 2 spots. When he puts his mind into destroying the line, he kills the whole running game for teams. And for him, I think he's going to be probably one of the most powerful run stoppers going forward in the league. Once he develops a pass rush, this kid might be one of the best defensive tackles because he's still young and raw. Once he can put it all together, oh my God, because he ain't going to get slower. He don't get weaker. He only going to get better. And the way he shuts down a line, the way he anchors and moves people left to right to be in perfect position, a lot, because I've seen him grab the offensive lineman and push him right into the hole to take on the next lineman, and the running back like, oh, hell, what I'm going to do now? The next thing you know, he going down because somebody else making the tackle, or he done stood them both up, and now the pursuit has got there from the linebacker or whatever. Is that ridiculous, the way he destroys lines? So he could be one of them dudes you get in the 5th round, and you think you're lucky stars because now he's going to get with one of the top defensive line coaches in football that has been in the last 20-plus years in the NFL. And one thing about everybody that we profiled here today is the coaching really does matter. And we have some really quality coaches at a lot of quality positions that we need to upgrade: offensive line, wide receiver, running back, defensive line, defensive backfield, overall offensive and defensive schemes. This is going to benefit a lot of these kids that are coming out of college. So we're going to be able to build through the draft, and we may not have to take
FFG.
Dudes.
Save that part for the close, man, because that's definitely where I'm going for the close. But just hold on about Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips in particular. Listen, man, I'm telling you that just the dominance in his physicality. It's like when I see this man, and this is where I can see where the wrestling and makes him more superior than he's already more physically superior than his peers. You can just look at him and tell that. But you add like a skill set to somebody that physically more dominant than the next guy at 20 years old or something like that. Like, this dude hasn't even gained his grown man strength. Like, when it all comes together for him, physically, he's got like that Reggie White strength to him. You know what I mean? He just way more stronger than he should be. You know what I mean? It's just incredible specimen to look at on the football field. I was just in awe of that guy's physicality and the dominance of it. When he wanted to, and he puts hands on another 300-pounder, it looks like he's playing with junior high school kids, the way he's jerking them and moving them and shocking them. It is impressive. If you guys haven't seen anything, just go turn on the highlights. He's got about a few videos out there about anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes worth of him just beating the dog crap out of people, throwing them around like they trash. Just go look at that. Go look at that and let us know in the comment section what you thought. But I thought Jordan Phillips was one of the most impressive guys I looked at this offseason. I could not turn off the film on him, man. I'm probably going to look at some more of it tonight. But that's how giddy I get when I look at his film, man. He's impressive, man. But that's what we got for this show. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up probably doing another one of these or two. Who knows what we end up doing by the time this draft comes around. We still got quite a bit of time to, compile some football players and talk about a bunch of dudes. And it's fun to do this kind of stuff. This is the good part for me, because this is when all those months of film research and studying, up all night, getting up in the morning, preparing for shows and being busy around the clock. This is where it pays off, because we get to come and do these shows for you guys and talk about what we saw. Pretty soon, who knows, I might add a few videos to it. Who knows, man, just to show you what I'm talking about. But the way YouTube is, man, you can't put too much video out there. They'll ding you for it, even if you're paying for the content. So that's all we got for this one. FFG, do you got any pleasantries, anything that you saw or we talked about that you want to layer on a little bit? You go right ahead. It's your time.
Yes, sir. Dobbsy, 34, exactly correct. Khalil Mack strength. where you just imagine where y'all saw Khalil Mack just throwing around tackles on the outside, getting to the quarterback. This kid is doing it with guards and centers on the inside on a regular basis. It don't matter who it is. So I love it when the fans understand exactly what we're talking about when we display these kids that everybody may not have seen. So please do your homework like we've been doing. And Nomad is the king of homework when it comes to this. He's a video junkie all day and every day. That's why he puts out so much. That's why it's been coming at you like gangbusters lately. But I appreciate everybody being in the chat. I ain't been here for about 2 weeks, so thanks for welcoming me back. I had a great time. I'm going to go watch some basketball. But I'm just excited to see what the Bears do in the next 4 weeks to really solidify the team on both sides when the draft does come. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have a real nice draft party for y'all to come hang out and chill. So
definitely going to do that, man. Appreciate you for being here. Appreciate everybody for being here. And please do your due diligence. And I don't ask people to go and watch all the film that I watch. I'm a damn football nerd, and I was born that way. I'm cursed in that way. I love football like that. And so go watch the highlights if you watch nothing else. But trust and believe, we did our homework over here. And everything I said to you, I can tell you with 110% accuracy, man. I got nothing but faith in every one of those football players, and I can't wait to see what the Bears do, because I feel strongly that it's going to be a handful of guys that come and become Chicago Bears that we put a lot of emphasis on that player over here at the Nomad Network. So I'm really proud of it. It's hard work, but it's worth it when you got people like you guys in the chat and all you guys watching the show. Man, it's worth it when you got people that receive the content well and they appreciate it. And so that just makes it all worthwhile, man. So I know I'm not doing it for anything. I know I'm doing it for something. You guys appreciate it. And that's all I need, is to know somebody out there appreciates the work we put in. And that's what we got for you guys. You guys don't forget to holler at us in the comment section about any one of those players that you've seen on the screen today. Any comments you have, make sure you get with us in the comment section. Make sure you got your notification bell run, because there's probably people that don't know that we're on air today. So you got to get with your guys, man. Tell them to hit the notification bell, so you'll know every time some content's coming out. Yes, we are the content kings over here. It's going to be constant content coming out up and until the draft, man, because I'm serious about making sure you guys know who these guys are. So, and make sure if you're watching the show and you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want to help us out, all you got to do is pop, hit that subscribe button, give us a hand that way, and we would appreciate it. But we're going to leave you guys with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, we are out.
Peace.